Hey, this is Adam, TechieNetworker.com. We're in Module 2 of Website 123, helping you build a high-converting website for your online business. In this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of website builders. And the only three that I'd recommend you even consider are Wix, Squarespace, and Weebly, because they have a lot of users. They've been around for a long time. They have great reputations. They'll be here for the long haul, right? So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons as well as when this might be an okay option for your online business, and why also it's generally not the one I recommend if you're a serious online business owner. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about all that though, so you can get all the information you need to make the decision. Okay, so let's just go right into the pros. So the pros, the benefits of these platforms. Number one, super easy to use. They have a drag and drop interface that makes it very easy to add elements to your website. Okay, that's a big thing. Number two, they have beautiful and professional theme options. All right, that's one great thing, is these platforms really do have options when it comes to design and feature set that are good options. Okay, that said, they are limited, right? So if you're somebody who wants to have total control over design, you're not necessarily going to have that. You may not find a theme you like, but they have a wide array of options. Some more than others. I believe Wix has a huge library of themes. Weebly doesn't have as many, and I'm not sure about Squarespace. Just know they have a variety of theme options for you. They have a dedicated support team. All three of these platforms are what are called closed platforms, meaning the company controls everything, and for that reason, they hire a dedicated support team. Okay, and just so you understand how this contrasts to a open source platform like WordPress, for example, what they've done is they're open source. So like anybody who has an idea for like a feature that could benefit a WordPress site can develop that feature, can code their own feature and make that available to the WordPress community. So this kind of has it has a positive and a negative side to it, right? The positive of closed environment is that any feature that gets added to like Wix or Weebly or Squarespace is going to go through rigorous testing. There's not going to be any bugs and that sort of thing. Whereas in an open source platform, there's less controls, but this also means that there's a lot more options. I'll talk about this in the next video more, and why this is so important, why I believe it's really essential if you're serious about like building a list and building an online business. But if, again, just to make the point, this is a closed environment. Wix, Weebly, and Squarespace are closed environments. You're going to have a dedicated support team. You're going to generally have any feature that gets added, like I said, will be rigorously tested, so you know that the feature is going to work the way it's supposed to, right? Another thing is that it's budget friendly. If you're on a very, very small budget with your business, these platforms, you pay like a fixed monthly fee if you're going to use like a pro option, and it's generally a low monthly fee, right? It's very affordable. Secure, fast, and reliable hosting. You're not hosting your site yourself. You're actually renting it, and because like I said, because this is a closed platform, they'll have dedicated hosting for you that they test, that they optimize, so it'll be a very secure, fast, and reliable environment. And then another thing I want to say is, for the purposes of building an online business, these platforms do offer an adequate feature set. I would say they offer the bare minimum, but it's adequate for what you'll need to do to build your business. Okay? That said, let's move into the cons. All right? First of all, one big con of these platforms is that you don't own your content. You don't own your design. You don't own any of the files in your site. You're basically renting your site. If anything were to happen to this, to these companies, and they went under, you could conceivably lose all of your work, right? You could lose all of your content or data. Another thing is you have limited flexibility when it comes to design, integration, and feature sets. Okay? And, I talked to you before about the benefits of a closed platform, which is what these three are. This is also a limitation. And, one thing I want to talk about here is, if you're like a brick and mortar business and your priority is for your website is more to just have it be like a brochure, a way to brand yourself, generally attract people to your location, for example, these sites are fine. But when it comes to a feature set for a serious business owner, if you have a priority, if you place a priority on list building and conversion, right? Which is really what most of you in my audience are really about doing. You want to build like a coaching business online. You want to attract people, capture leads, and then convert them into paying clients and customers. This is where the limited feature set of these platforms can be a real pain in the butt. And I talked before also about ease of use. Well, incorporating these features in one way or another tends to start to eliminate that as a benefit. Like when you start wanting to add, for example, opt-in forms, and you want to start making tweaks to your design to increase your conversions, you end up doing some coding and some workarounds that actually make it a more technical platform just to get to that place, right? So it kind of removes that as a benefit. And that's why I really strongly, don't recommend this option for people who have list building and conversion as a priority, because even though these platforms can be easier to use to just get something up and running, when it comes to actually optimizing your site, it actually becomes more of a pain in the butt on those platforms because they're not really designed for it. They don't have that built-in, that ability to add features all that easily that aren't part of their core feature set, right? So it's just something to think about. Like if you're really serious about building a business online, this can be a limitation. And then lastly, in the long run, as you grow your business, if you're on these platforms, you definitely have the potential to outgrow these platforms. In the event that you then want to migrate over to like a self-hosted solution, it can be extremely costly and time consuming, which means the budget-friendly, benefit that I talked about as one of the pros can be compromised as well. If in the long run you need to convert and migrate over, all those benefits, those cost savings will just be gone anyways, okay? And so just another thing to think about. And really this is the biggest reason, these are the biggest reasons why, this isn't generally the platform I recommend for people who are serious online business owners. But it is an okay option if, for starters, you're not sure you're in business for the long run. If you're kind of just getting into this kind of casually to see if it's something you want to do, but you're not sure that you're in this business for the long run, then this is actually a totally fine option for you, okay? It's also okay if you just are on like a totally limited budget, right? I do want to say though, like the next option I'm going to be talking about, which is self-hosted WordPress, you can actually achieve a really strong site with all the features you need on a relatively small budget as well. But I mean, if you're somebody who's really, just strapped for cash and you just want to get something up and running for as little as possible, and you're not that concerned about some of the implications as it relates to your business, in the long run, you just want to get something up and running, this can be an okay option. And then thirdly, if you are not a true online business, like if you're a brick and mortar business whose main priority is just to maybe start attracting people to your site as a way to get them to your physical location, or you just have more of a brochure type site that you're using to brand yourself, but you don't have a priority in building a list, that sort of thing, then this is actually the option I'd recommend in those cases. Like for brick and mortar businesses who aren't big on list building, I think it's a wonderful option. But one thing I want to add, if you're really serious about, building an online business for the long run, and you have a high priority in converting visitors into leads and leads into customers, this is definitely not the option I recommend, and I'll be talking about why a self-hosted WordPress solution is the best option for you in the next video, which you'll definitely want to watch after this one. So hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions as it relates to these three platforms. Again, the three, if you're going to go with these, the three that I recommend you stick to are Wix, Squarespace, and Weebly. And honestly, I've looked at all three, and they're all really good platforms. And so in terms of which one to choose, I would just take a look at the three sites. If you go to each of the sites, you actually can view their themes for free. You don't have to get started before you can see the different designs. So I would almost just tell you, if you want to go with this option, look at all three and find the theme that you really like the most, okay? Just find the theme that you think you'll want to work with, and then just let that dictate which of the platforms you choose. Pick your favorite theme, more or less, because they're all really great. They all give you the minimum feature set you need to build an online business. You will actually be able to move forward with all my additional training using a platform like this. But if, like I said, if conversion and list building is a big priority in your business, I'm going to be teaching you some tips and techniques and strategies that really aren't necessarily stuff you can accomplish very easily at all with these platforms, and where WordPress would be a much better option for you. So hopefully I've given you everything you need to really help you decide if this is an option you want to go with, but you'll definitely want to watch the next video where I talk about the #1 recommended option and blogging platform for your business. It's self-hosted WordPress. And so I'll see you in that video. Again, leave any questions or comments you have in the comment section below this video. I'll see you in the next video.